What's up, yo? A couple days MIA because sleeping is difficult to come by. Um, I don't know if anybody understands why completely. I think the closest thing we come to is understanding that the realm is being altered. The Some of it is a larger clock that is occurring because where you think we live is not even close to where we actually live. I've offered up many solutions for it, like how you can prove where we live and what it is. Um, I'm going to try to explain this election. Um, Iran having a conflict. The media, Medes, World War III, Civil War, how to break spells, what scriptures are, what scripting is, how it fits into this reality that we live in, this realm that we live on, this wherever it is, what it appears to be. And we're not doing this everything subjective mind game right now, because I mean that's fine and dandy, but it doesn't really assist anyone really just to say it's all in your mind. I mean, sure, it's part of it, and that's it's part of the spell casting. It's part of the spell breaking. It's part of it, but you have to know where you are and where you're casting a spell from and how it happens, how you do it, what your body is, the circuit board realm that we live on. If you don't have a clue to this, you can never understand how electronics function in this realm, how plasma functions in this realm, how magnetics function in this realm, and everything that you can see. The basis for this place to exist is on those things: plasma, electricity, magnetism. What's up, Khan? Just noticed I just had this crazy dream. I was going to call it Sleepless in Seattle. And in Seattle, there's a coding for a date, as well as some other major dates. And I'm going to explain to you how we can adjust what those are. We're playing a chess game that is from another dimension. It's not a 3D board. It's much larger. You're if you call it a 3D board, then you're playing chess out of 3D. Everybody wants to be in 4 or 5D. 4 and 5D are space and time. So if you're living and you're able to control space and time, space I believe would be the 4th dimension and time would be the 5th dimension. So if you're actually acting from 5th dimension, you're more of a time lord. It's still, nonetheless, you're a very, I would say, you'd probably be a lower level time lord. It wouldn't be. What's up, instance? What you doing? Um, and I want to make it clear what these so-called wars are, what they were, what they weren't, what their purpose and goal was, what these resets are, when it will possibly occur, a few movies and scripting and the scriptures of the Bible and other playbooks. I understand that I do have way too many videos out explaining all of this shit, and it would take people don't have enough time to go through over 2,000 videos of mine, especially considering most of them are over an hour. You just don't have enough time to do that. and to decode it, because there's not a lot of repeat information. But I'll tell you, let's start here. I had the weirdest dream. It wasn't weird. It just was. I was cooking in a kitchen, but I knew everybody in the kitchen. It wasn't like a. It wasn't like a. It wasn't like a business. It was like somebody just had a big country kitchen or something. There's a lot of computer stuff in there, a lot of kitchen stuff, a lot of people in the kitchen. Like we were all around the stove, and I was the major chef, and there was somebody else that wanted to like cook like me, and I knew who all of these people were. I knew them all intimately. Some of them, it's really weird, it's strange, and I was cooking. I was explaining to somebody something about spam. I mean, it's coding in this stuff. Even in your dreams, it's that you have subconscious realms, you have lucid dreams, you have out of body, out of time. So you have your out of body experiences, astral travel, you have astral projection. Travel and projection are two different things in the sense of how they use time, how you use time within that. And your subconscious dreams offer you symbolism for something, and it can be future events all the time, or it could be just something about yourself and your body, because your body is as above so below, as within so without, although there is a time dilation between those things. Just because you think something, you don't automatically get it. Just because your body is functioning a certain way doesn't mean the entire reality will reflect that immediately, because you have opportunities to adjust things. Anyway, so we're cooking in this kitchen, and I was cooking with spam and eggs, and I had a piece of toast, and I was using one pan to cook this thing. So I was putting an egg. So I'm putting the eggs, the bacon, the spam is bacon, and the bread in this one pan, and somebody else was cooking, and they were trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do. I think they just weren't paying attention. They had like 4 or 5 pans out trying to do a similar thing, and their pan caught on fire. See, I had a little bit of a grease fire in my pan, but I knew well enough just to flip my piece of bread over. So I just did that. And as I'm doing this, I look over, and literally the other person that's cooking has got so many things going on, the whole kitchen's on fire. So I'm like, everybody's like standing around like idiots. And I was like, just leave the kitchen. I was like, you go grab the fire extinguisher and put it out. And he starts blowing the top of the fire away. I'm like, you have to hit the base of the fire with it. So he's trying to put this out, and I'm like, everybody needs to get the fuck out of the kitchen. So, like, I'm getting out. Like, there's some kids and some idiots that don't know what they're doing. But I knew everybody there, and I've got them all out of the kitchen. Stop the fire, whatever. Okay, what does this have to do with anything? I think it had to do with the plasma apocalypse, and what plasma is, because there was computer systems in the kitchen too, and what will happen during this event with the electrons, the magnetism of the earth. We need to start. Here's where we should start with this, so I don't get too far off of course here. Anything that you see on the news is scripted, just like the Bible is a scripture. Understand this. So there's always this game, oh, the scripture and Jesus the Most High. No, it's not. It's just another book of scripts, but it's more popular. So of course you know the future. If you're just following a playbook, anybody wants to put anything they want on the news, they can, and they'll know what's going to happen in the future. Why? It's not because they're prophets. It's not because they were time travelers, but because they were planning the events, and they already knew the code. On this day we do this. On this day we do this. So there's things that have occurred in the past. You go, how did they know that would happen in the future? Well, because they were making it happen in the future. Now, how do you break these codes? Well, if enough people understand what they are, they have to use a different play. They can't use their go-to move. They can't do that. When people wake up to any of this, you have to understand why the realm will experience the plasma apocalypse, how it was known in the past, that we live on a computer board almost certainly, that the realm is nothing like you think it is, that what will the dates be? What have we seen in the past? What do we know about the Civil War or in the World Wars? They're all scripted, but there's no such thing as conflict in the world. It's all a joke. It's made up. The people that are involved in it the lower downs don't know it. They can't know it. The numbers never add up for anything. For when things were built and when things were destroyed, how many people died in certain conflicts. The stories are so outlandish. They can write any story they want, make people believe whatever they want. It's just, it never adds up. It's outlandish. World War II didn't happen. It was a goal to destroy ancient buildings, maybe for a good reason, because they couldn't just tell you this was a land of giants. They couldn't tell you, but you can watch all these movies. You can watch movies, and they're scripting in the movie. Some of it they're giving away something because they have to tell you in code, because they can never just outright be like, okay. Just about 100 years ago, it was an apocalypse. There was an event that burnt out this land. People turned into stone. Giants were turned into statues because of they were made of silica. You know, some of them were robots. You couldn't tell someone that. It's so far unbelievable. It's so ridiculous. You'd be like, what happened to Reset? Where all these kids come from? Did they come from incubators, laboratories? Why were there orphan trains? There's so many levels to this. If you haven't studied it all, it's never going to make sense. But it needs to be understood that at least there is spell casting in the way it works. There's 3 types of magic. One is technological, one is sleight of hand, and one is what you'd consider actual magic. The technological is just a way of psychologically manipulating people to see something else, believe something else. And it happens all the time. Watch TV. Like, just they're telling you something that's never true. History books are also a type of technology that are manipulating you to believe something that's not true. So this idea that there's going to be a conflict, you'll see it on the news. It'll happen. I can almost guarantee this. I can't guarantee any dates, but it does look like it will be this month or next month. And I think that it will. I think it will affect whether or not we have an election. And what I will say is, you can almost guarantee there is a war that is already being played out in people's minds. It's not really going to happen. Like, it's half the shit you see on TV. That there's no people running up to car. You have to always ask yourself, who's filming it? How did they know to be there to film it? It's not like these Antifas, these protests, this and that. 99% of it is inorganic. It's happening, but it's very inorganic. It's very staged. It's bought and paid for. People will get hurt, just like in the movies. People will get hurt. People will get injured. They don't want anybody to die, really. They don't want that blood on their hands. They don't want that. That's a big joke. They tell you, here's all of the evils. Don't come into this Skull and Bones. The witches put things on their door to keep people fearful and scared of what they don't understand. So Iran will have a conflict with the U.S. this year. We can avoid it if everybody understands what it is. And Iran is home to a lot of. It's right next to Iraq. It all has to do with systems that are in play. From the 33rd degree parallel, which is the same place Hollywood is, on the other side of the realm. If you think it's a globe, it's directly across 180 degrees. Go figure that out. And it's two factions. What do you notice? It's always the news media that is bullshitting everything, lying about Hollywood and lying about what's going on anywhere, because they can alter anything they want. They're the ones controlling the cameras. These other people don't control the cameras. They don't control the narrative. The Medes do. The medics. They speak MEDICS. They speak media. Medics and media is a similar word. It's the same word, in fact. When you think of medic, it's somebody that's working it's gonna come and fix something for you. Well, it's not really how that works. What you're gonna see is Iran. What's over there? You got like a bunch of major Babylonian, Gilgameshian type things that are all the source of the media. Which now is Hollywood and the media in cahoots to a degree? Is politics and the media in cahoots to a degree? Are there some conflicts even within those groups? Absolutely, there has to be. You can think of your best friends or your family. You always have conflict with them. Like, to what degree? To having, like, China hates the U.S. and they're gonna have a war over it. No, there's somebody controls it above that. They're not. There's world institutions that are controlling things. That these people that are smaller in line, or even think all of these, oh, the Rothschilds and this and that control it. No, they don't. They're above that. They would never expose themselves so easily that they were controlling and running things. It would make no sense, because then they would be a target. So they just say, well, here, let these people believe that these people are arguing. These are the targets. No, it's not what's happening. So these spells and these programs, we can look at these movies. I was just watching Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. And I also was watching this Betty Boop show from 1926 that was quite literally exposing the plasma apocalypse that's about to happen. I'll have to show it to you guys. I'll have to tell you. Just look up Betty Boop, ups and downs. Look up Betty Boop, ups and downs. Now, here's what's happening. They're going to convince people that there is some sort of major war or catastrophe going on, and they're gonna, because these people still watch the TV and still believe it. I don't know how. I really don't know how. Like, I don't know how generationally, like your parents were starting to know, and then everyone that I knew just knows that the every joke is politicians lie. You know, everyone knows that they're just bullshit. That the media lies. We already know this. But yet then people go and pick and choose what they want to believe. You can't do that. It's all or nothing. You can't take some of it and not others of it. So if you look at Hollywood, what you'll see is they use lies to tell the truth. So they're using symbology, symbolism, and magic in a way to express an absolute truth about something. And then when I say absolute, it's true for the time they're making it, although they have other codes that could run the gambit for them. But when you see the media, what they're doing is they're using politicians at times to say the truth, to tell lies. It's the same thing in reverse. So the people running it, they run as much of the game as they can. They have to. So Hollywood will be having a war with Iran, which is the media, the medes, but you'll see it as something other. You'll think of another conflict. Unless people, I don't see how people still don't get the TV it's watch the movies with a keen eye. I say with those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Yeah, literally just look at it. Just look at it differently. Oh, listen a little differently. You know, read in between lines. So here's the Betty Boop. It's called Ups and Downs, from like 1926 or 1936. It's the plasma apocalypse. There's a scene in it where the moon sells Earth to Saturn for $20, and then Saturn puts a magnet into the Earth and removes the magnetism. I'm not kidding you. This is in 1926 or 36, and removes the magnetism from the Earth. And this is about to happen. In the coding to me has always been this winter, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Percy Jackson, though, the major event that happens in Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief. So there's Medusas in it. Medusa is a symbol of the apocalypse, meaning that those tentacles of her hair are the electrical plasma discharges that are going to happen on this realm. And there's electrical plasma discharges on this realm because we live on a computer board, and the magnetism and the electricity, and which is, you know, in a higher form is plasma, like ball lightning, plasma lightning. That's why it functions here like that. We're organic to a degree. Look at us. We bleed. We have feelings. We're embodied into these vessels, but we're also electromagnetic. So if you don't understand that that's where we live, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard grasp for everything else. But for someone to say, okay, well, these resets happen, computers get upgraded. You already know you buy an iPhone 9, now you bought the 10, and then no, it's on the 12 now. You buy it every year. Well, there's a cyclical event to what is happening on this realm. And Percy Jackson, they used the summer solstice, and I would guess it would be this year. It'll be it would be 21 June 21st, 2021. However, everything in the coding for me suggests December 21st because it's the fall. This is not. This is there'd be. I think there'd be two events, and there'll be one is the fall, and then one is the spring, and the fall is December. You know, October, November, December. You're getting into the fall. You're falling. And then what happens? 3 days of darkness, and then the sun rises again. The sun. The Lord Savior Jesus. Even though the Lord is Baal, the lower down one is Baal. It's just talking about internal, what's going on in your body, where your burning bowels are. It's all symbology. Most of these stories didn't happen, or they just take place internally, and just something you do to clean your body, clean your temple, clean the earth. But if you understood we live on a computer system, you'd understand even more so what's happening. Okay, so the reason that it seems to be December 21st of this year is because there's no way they'd waste all of this energy they have going into this election, and the crow, you know, this is, do you understand? The blackbirds are all about the CV nonsense that's happening. It's all about crows and their species. If you look up the spelling of what their species are of most blackbirds, you don't understand the connection to what you consider the death of something. Although they are not they don't kill, they clean things. All of these blackbirds, they clean things. So all of the energy going into the fall brings you to winter solstice. It's called Soul's Tea Ice. That's the breakdown. That's a really long coding. You'd have to use Isocene codes to break that down. But understand the soul, and then the crossing is a T, and then ice is about either the moon, or you could consider it just the winter time. The soul crosses into ice. There's a lot of ways to break this down, but the summer doesn't seem like the time to do that. Even though in Percy Jackson they use the summer as when so Medusa and the lightning are all representative of the plasma that will be come. If you ever played with a plasma ball, you know that ball with the piece of glass around it, and then there's that big thing in the middle, and the blue tentacles come out. That's what's going to happen here, like literally on this realm. Okay. There's a reason that they're dropping the dollar. There's a reason they're getting rid of currency. There's a reason they're collecting coins. Understand? Once the computer system gets fried or reset, they can't have everybody with all of this copper, because copper is a conductor of electricity. So if your body is not acceptable to functioning with this plasma, with this electricity, with this magnetism, then they'll remove it. So everybody that was thinking their coins are so valuable, and then you went to places like, oh, they're accepting plastic. Why? Because plastic won't be affected by plasma. But it's also not going to work because the computer systems are going to get fried. So they're getting people like, you better get your groceries now. You better be able to stay inside for a little bit, because things will turn into apocalyptic. I think they're chipping people to be able to turn off zombies. People will turn into freak shows and zombies. The Coens, the priestcraft. And so watch the Coens. Watch what they're doing. They tell you stories. Some are events that happened in the past. This Betty Boop was crazy. There's a bunch of coding for Trump and Barron. You know, the books that they were written, time traveling with Biff Tannen, Back to the Future. There's coding with 88. There's coding with time travel. Some of it is time travel. Some of it is, but the majority of it, they don't need to time travel the way that you think they do. If they're making the events occur, and they just know that reset occurs, what else would they do? They would just follow the script. Here, you use the playbook of the Quran. That's the moon book. Use the playbook of the Bible. That's the sun book. They always in conflict, huh? Moon and sun's always in conflict. Creates energy, but there's coding there. When you got the Bhagavad Gita, you got there's so many different books, so many different calendars, people on different time systems. Some people that survived the last event because their bodies and they're connected to giants and things. There's a lot of things going on here, but this Medusa thing in Percy and this turning people into pillars of salt and stones, that will happen to people. If you fry an electrical system, what do you think happens to it? It's either going to melt. If you put enough electricity through something. How can you throw a lot of electricity through something? If you're not grounded out, it will burn. It will toast you. And if you have a lot of salt and heavy metals in your body, you will get toasted. It's just all there is to it. How else would an electrical system work? But if your cleanliness isn't next to godliness, if your temple is clean, or if you know how to ground out, you won't really have to worry about this as much. So again, this World War III that they're trying to make an event happen. So people are, I'm telling you, there's not just black hats playing this game. It's a larger game. There's not just the evil ones, if you would call anyone evil. There's the left and the right. It's two wings of the same bird. It's Baphomet with his left hand and right hand. Black and white magic. One's not evil and one's not holy. It's ridiculous. The notion is completely absurd, and most people will tell you that it's absurd are Christians that are actually some of the most evil, upside down people ever. Some Christians are lovely, but no, there's a lot to do with Catholics, the catheters, and sucking energy off this planet. And what they'll always say is, "Oh, you have to come to Savior, come to the Lord." No, that's not even the right name. It's not a physical being. It's an idea, and it's an idea that has overwhelmed their mind to the point that during this plasma event, they'll find their new savior, and it will look like, you don't look at all these movies. Why they do this in Percy Jackson too? When they see Medusa, you can't look her in the eyes, or you'll get turned into stone, because it's the plasma. It's going to be so bright outside. So there'll be lightning storms, there'll be but it'll be dark out because the sun is going to get either replaced by some bigger being, or it's a natural occurring event. It doesn't matter how you think of it. The sun, we already noticed the sun is something different. It's no longer yellow, it's white. Did they already replace the sun? Now they gotta get rid of the other sun and the moon? I don't know. But so let me try to continue on with these. The spell casting, what they can do is, if they have a plan A, they have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G. Go through the alphabet. They have a plan because they're using codings that are gematria driven. Okay. Do you know how many forms of gematria there are? At least 20 that I know of. A lot of them overlap, and they'll give you very similar results. Some of them do not. Yeah, you got Jewish, you got Francis Bacon ciphers, you got Isisian codes, you got English, you got reduction, you got, I mean, I go on and on. Go to a gematria website, start coding it out. You'll see very similar numbers everywhere. Things that are in reverse. You'll find some coding, but they might not. See, what I'm saying is if they go up, if they got a backup plan to a backup plan, if I'm reading the coding in the movie Back to the Future, what I'll see mainly is 88, what is it, 51? There's a bunch of codes in there, but it's the ones that I've noticed. It's the ones that other people have noticed. There might be some other underlying codes, or again, that 88 could be, or that, okay, so find a code like 51. Okay, the code could also be 15, could be in reverse, which gives them other options to other plays. And if you don't know that's happening, you go, oh well, I thought you said that the coding was speaking about Childish Gambino, Madonna, and Britney Spears. Well, yeah, that's three major people that could have been affected by what seemed to like conjunctions of planetary energy in the sky, but it also could happen on a different date that just was not as obvious. That's backup plan. So there's still major dates that they'll have events happen on. I mean, who just died? What was the guy's name? The guitarist. One of the greatest guitarists ever. I don't believe he died. I mean, I don't believe it. I don't believe about, because if they die, they let them die with respect, and they'll tell you about it later. They'll just put somebody else in scene for them. They got respect, and they would never do that. So if somebody dies, they're gonna just let the news know, like, we gotta tell everybody so and so died. No, it's to control your emotions. So who died? What was his name? Not Bon Jovi. What's the other guy's name? It doesn't matter. But his name is a code, and I believe he had something to do with the Jupiter code. I mean, yeah. The lie with all the numbers. I'll read your comments in a second, y'all. I'm just trying to get this bigger part out the way. That realize that they can just switch it up and use Plan C. Okay, Plan C1. We're gonna get Plan E. If enough people figured out the code, they wouldn't use it. They couldn't use it because it would be too obvious, and then people would go, "Oh, this is fake." Like enough people already know the fakeness of it. Now, let me go back to this in a good way. If they take all of the coins away, they destroy the economy, because it's going to happen anyways. They could be doing a big service to humanity, because they know an event's going to occur. Like, who's going to believe an apocalyptic, full-scale phenomena that happens because we live on a computer board? Nobody could believe that. And what would be the use of that training if you told people that? We talk about the noble lie. And feel free to thumbs this up if you find this information useful, so other people can find it. That's kind of the point here. The point of me ever doing this shit is so other people could understand this. I mean, should and would we want everyone to survive? No. It's fucking terrible, but some people, like, do you want the new Earth populated with dumb, ignorant fucks? No. If they can't figure this out, and what I'm saying to them makes no sense, then okay, don't worry, we'll take care of the Earth. Because I mean, like, right now, there's no way of doing that. I don't have the economic. I haven't had the economics or I don't own land. I mean, do I know how to do all the stuff? Yeah. Do I know how to build things? Of course. I mean, but you if you're not in the economic system, so you can't do anything right now. If you're not using a fiat currency, computer system to run game, but that immediately causes a disconnect to the person that's using it. It has to, because then they have to know this is where the Cohens and the priestcraft come from, and to some degree they have to make a disconnect. as kings have kin, these kings made their kin, they have to have a disconnect to a degree, because if they don't, then they would know this event is coming. And who would they save? They would have to say, oh, they're all my children. I want to save them all. But they couldn't. Who would they choose? That'd be damn near impossible. Who could you choose which one of your children you would save? So they have to have a priestcraft that can make this disconnect for them, and that priestcraft is the Cohens. Cohens are part of the king's priestcraft. It's a higher order of magicians and code writers. So, we're like 35 in here. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I gotta take a shit, but I'm enjoying this. I'll be right back. All right, let me scroll through what everybody had to say here. Say hello and see if there's any questions, comments, or whatever. What's up, Con? What's up, Instance? What's up, Divine? Lyric Sense. Yeah. Oh, did you not know who I... Lyric Sense, did you not know who I was? Yeah, I get it. What's up, Novel Solutions? Yeah, well, it could be. The galactic, I think that's another code for something. I don't doubt that there are cloaked ships and things from other realms. I don't doubt that. Um, Novel use. Yeah, divine light. The connection to Iran. Well, see, that's the connection to Iran that you said because Obama paid them 150 million or billion. Well, see, again, that's another part of the that's another layer to the story. Um, because the world banks and governments above that. Well, the connection to that is, I mean, how many countries were not involved with the World Bank? There were every remember the axis of evil. It was Iraq, Iran, Cuba, and a few other countries that didn't want anything to do with the World Bank. Those were the only ones that were, if there was any kind of fighting or war that was going on, it was only with them, and it was barely ever, it was barely ever doing anything to kill their citizenry. It was to control they would use economic hitmen that destroyed their economy, and then they'll say, hey, look at this is why communism and socialism doesn't work, because see what happens to their economies? No, because they flooded economies with fake dollar bills, with propaganda, da da da. So they'll do that to get them to be part of the World Bank. Um, that's a larger war that was occurring, and that goes back to even the places that are part of who's always said to be at war. It's like always about this empires. That's a war that perhaps has been occurring, and it was only about it was an economic war, political economic war. But other than that, we don't have that. Everybody that sits at the table of the UN is already controlled by a higher up. It's already like in place. Um, what is the plasma apocalypse? Novel solutions. Um, go watch Jay Dreamer's primers on these things. He explains it as good as anybody. I think he's about 95% right about everything. There's other people that make videos on it, but I think he just does the best job of it. Um, but I always try to make the connection to the human body, the temple, and the plasma, urine. And it's a connection to Orion's belt as well, so there's a lot of connections there. But yeah, see, Divine Hazel. You know what? One of the biggest things isn't gossip one of the sins of the Bible? Like if that's what the Hillary Clinton email said, no, that's all staged bullshit. I don't buy that shit for 1 second. Again, how would they let you know? Why would they? You don't. It doesn't matter to you. I'm gonna explain something again, and this is as simple as I can put it. Who cares what these politicians are doing? You're not going to do anything about it. You're not going to go, oh, I figured it out now. No, they're giving you what they want you to see. They're not telling you the whole thing. They're telling you it's layered. Reality is layered. That's all bullshit. All of the crimes against humanity. What the biggest crime is that people watch the TV and believe anything that's on it. You have to read in between the lines and see that the news is not what it appears to be. So that shit doesn't count. It doesn't fly. It doesn't work that way. The emails that Clinton was involved in, no, they would never release that to the public. They have no reason to tell you. You have to understand that. They're telling you what they want you to hear, not you, but the population, to keep them distracted. Why? If they could keep them distracted underneath this spell, they can, reseed the earth afterwards with what they deem to be fit, which I think most of them are probably righteous for doing. While most people are like, oh, the New World Order, this and that. If they know an apocalypse is coming, they again have to be able to go, well, what do we save? Well, you save the good shit. You don't save the worthless shit. And if people are so worthless that they're gonna believe everything they see on TV and they're chatty Cathys and gossip about everything and do all of like the sins. Why would they bring that into the New World? They wouldn't want it there. So the New World Order is a real thing, and it's brought in by Saturn. Saturn is the Time Lord. Saturn. Well, go watch this Betty Boop. I told you again. It tells you, even that I think it's this year because that Saturn bought the Earth for $20. So I said it's 2020, and then changed the magnetics of it. So Saturn is, to some people is the black sun. The black sun was the original sun, but we can't see it anymore because it's in an outer realm, or it went out. So some people call it like Rahu and Ketu, but no, was it Ketu and Rahu? But I don't think so. I think that's the hidden ones, and it's closer to like the reason Pluto. Watch the movie. Why is in the Disney stuff? Why is there a dog named Pluto? There's mad coding there. It's even the planet of Pluto, being it was a star, then it's not a star. Why is that? It's deeper. It's symbology and symbolism. A Carnival World mind projection novel. That's hilarious. Lyric sense. Yes, there you go. They tell you the truth in many symbolism form, and they do not have karmic debt on their hands. Zero. Everybody can look at them as they're evil, but if you understood what they're doing, you would probably not think that. Read any great books. There's always multiple sides to a story. There's only multiple things that are done. There's no necessary good or bad in the world. That just cannot be. You can look at anyone's life. There's those without sin cast the first stone, right? Everybody does all sorts of things that you'd consider wrong or right. And if you live in a wrong and right world, then you're going to look at these politicians that you don't know a damn thing about. Let's be very honest. You can clearly say you do not know Donald Trump or anything about him. You don't know Joe Biden. You don't know Hillary Clinton. Now, you can watch them on the news and all they do is lie. But they're lying about what? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're telling you the truth, and the media is spinning it in a way that's not the truth. Hey, I mean, certainly we can see them say flip-flop on things, but there's a lot of coding of language happening here. So they'll tell you. So what part are they within the system? Are some of them higher up? Are they real time travelers? Yeah, sure. But when you really think about it, like, what if their goal is to save an aspect of humanity? They go, okay, well, someone has to make this choice. Go watch any show. There's always people that are powerful that have to make decisions for a grand populace. You can't just tell everybody, well, go fend for yourself, because more chaos would ensue, more death would ensue, more of the bad form of anarchy would occur. Somebody says you're controlling 1 million people. What do you do to avoid the wipeout of your complete army, or your population that is trying to peace, love, and harmony? Because this event's coming. It's cyclical. How do you save that? And how many do you save? And who do you save? And how? You got a lot of questions right there. I don't think you could make that answer. I don't think you could make that choice. I could. I'd tell you exactly how to do it and why I would do it. And you would say, well, I don't agree with that. And I say, I don't give a fuck. It's not up to you. You don't get to make the choice, because 1 billion people cannot make a singular choice for themselves, because they don't even know what choice they're making. They wouldn't know what to do. If you had 10 children and you have to choose 5 of them, who do you choose? You couldn't. You'd probably choose 0. You'd probably just lose your fucking mind. So that's why they have to have in-betweens that they train in larger systems, and they have to go. We already know how the spirit and the soul works and how it gets put back in the body, and there'll be things that will make it and things that will not, and they'll make it soon enough to these other ages, to these other places. You can't think how people's why politicians are the way they are. There's no doubt there's crazy weird fucked up shit, but Are you certain? I would say I don't know. I'd say it's no more fucked up or weird than the rest of the world is. So people out here living their worst life, just going, wow, the news media and Trump sucks and Biden sucks and they lie about everything and they killed people in Giza and they did it. Like, you don't know that. You know what you've seen on the news, which is all smoke and mirrors, 100%. So people still believe World War II to happen. The numbers don't add up. World War I didn't happen. Ask yourself this question: who's taking these pictures? What kind of idiot would be walking around with a camera taking pictures? Zero, none. The two fighting armies just unanimously go, don't kill the guy taking the pictures. We need the pictures taken so they can see the war that we're doing. And the pictures are, when you study them, they're all mad suspect. There's never any pictures of actual fighting going on. There's pictures of things like people wearing weird jackets and sitting in weird positions and looking all androgynous. Go do some research on it. It's pretty insane. But when you start to use your astute eye, you'll see how much covered up photos there are. You know what vanilla skies are? It's like all of these pictures that were whited out because if you'd seen what was going on in the earlier time, the kind of technology that was here was obscene. You don't think they had flying airships in the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, if you believe in those time periods? You think they could build all those giant temples, and they couldn't figure out how to make a camera? They could build temples as big as in Egypt. They could build temples all over the world. Go to Thailand, go to India, go to the Americas, go anywhere you want, Mesoamericans, whatever, wherever you like. You'll find some of the most obscene structures that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And you're telling me they're able to figure out how to do that and make these like cuts and these, but they couldn't figure out how to make a camera? I doubt that. I highly, highly doubt that. The technology was so much more high and advanced than what we're working with. But if the system blew out, well, I mean, what happened to the pyramids? Pyramids have caps. They were capacitors. They were energy generating devices. Maybe somebody was doing an experiment and blew up the entire system. Or maybe it was just bound to happen because, the system needed to upgrade or change or something. The symbolism is all there. Lyric sense. Most people are lost in words. Yeah, they don't even know. They don't even. Yeah, they will not see the symbolism. This is correct. They're unable to. It's not even that you need to be able to see it in your third eye or just imagine it. It's not. You don't even need to. Even if your dream world doesn't work, even if you can't envision things, there's still a way to make sense of it. There's still ways to make sense of it through the use of maths, even though that's not the best form. The best is symbolism through words and pictures and these images that you can kind of map out what's happening. But you cannot look at anything for face value. It's not going to help you. Nanar sin Unstance, the soul like the sun, yep, and ice like Isis, sin is the moon. Isis T reminds me of the human body with arms spread out. These are correct. There's a couple ways to decode that. Look into Dennis Fetcho. I'm looking at soul T ice decoding. Soul's T ice, yeah. It's about Outlaw Machiavelli. Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, that's what where you said the crow. Look up what a crow is. Look up part of family, the species all the blackbirds are. It's related to that word. It was to collapse the system. Again, it was to collapse the system prior to the actual plasma event. Let me explain things a little further here for you guys. And again, feel free to thumbs this up because that's the only way this information gets to people. And who will hear it everybody could hear this. They'll turn it off. If they can't understand it, they'll turn it the fuck off. And people that need to hear, they go, holy shit. You know how many people will be like, where the fuck did you come from, Zen? How do you know all this? Well, you found it now. That's all that matters. Good. You know what will be destroyed? The weak parts of the system. People that live in aluminum cans. Do you know why there's no air travel happening? Why it's gone down so much? Because you know what those aluminum airplanes are made of? I mean, do you know what those airplanes are made of? They're made of aluminum. Could you imagine what would happen? How much more chaos there would be? Okay, all of the trailer parks are going to get toasted. What do you think the plasmas are going to go and eat out? It's going to eat it out. It's going to go find it and just destroy it. Whether it's consciousness or not. It finds... Dan Winter would say that there's a reason that tornadoes and all of these crazy events happen in trailer parks. Yeah, it's because the aluminum is literally not constructive to the environment. It destroys things. It's destroying the etheric substance that causes things to grow. There's nobody in a trailer park with a garden. Do you know why that is? It's not just because no one has a green thumb or knows how to plant. Everybody's a crackhead. It's part of it, but the major part is that the aluminum is causing a problem with the ether. So these tornadoes come through and destroy that. Now when the plasma comes through, what's it going to hit? It's going to hit things that aren't grounded and things that are weak aluminum, things that are going to be heavy metals. They're not going to just destroy noble metals. They're not going to destroy soft metals. They're going to find things that will, because the electromagnetic system is going to flip. It's going to go from electricity driven to magnet driven. You'll see. But the first thing that happens is the old system has to become fried out, and they're going to get rid of the worst parts of it. So, what are these airplanes? They don't want people on airplanes. They're trying to save people's asses for real. At least the good parts are. Bad parts like, oh, we can't go out, we can't do anything. Well, did you stay inside? Did you stock up on food? Did you know? I mean, I already said if you looked at the real numbers, there's less people going to hospitals, less people going to doctors, less people sick, because they're not going to hospitals and they're not going to doctors, so they're not getting the staph infections in there, and they're keeping their mind a little bit stronger to say, well, I can't afford, I can't even go to the doctors, I can't even afford this sickness, and they're not sick, because the mind is powerful, and because they're not eating as much, because they can't afford to. Although there is a good part of the culture that still finds a way to go eat McDonald's, which isn't even cheap anymore. I don't know how anybody, I was looking at McDonald's because I was just scrolling through Grubhub or something because I was seeing what to snack on. I was like, it's like McDonald's delivers? That's so weird. And I was like, it's $10 for a meal. So a cola, some shitty fries, and a burger. I could get that same meal that's from a place that offers me, actual, ground beef from a grass-fed cow and fries that were not put in oil, right? And I could get, I could get a Mexican Coke at least, or at least trade that over to a soft drink of my other choosing that might be better for me, and spend about the same amount of money. Crazy, right? But the point is, these places, they will get torched. The electrical system will fry this stuff. And this is why you have cities in certain places. Go look up the cities in China that there's no one living in. Do you know why those exist? Because they firewalled those cities off. So during this plasma event, those cities won't get fried. And then when all the rest of the city gets burnt down and melted and whatever needs to happen happens, and their population, and after that they had their zombie apocalypse, and these people that get chipped, they'll be able to get doop, because they'll be zombies, because the people who are dumb enough to go get chipped are the ones that will probably be zombies anyways, and they can just shut them off. Whoop. got rid of them. At least they're not going to go out there and start participating in murdering and eating other people. You know, which they will, because they don't know that they can't survive for 4 days without food. Okay, I already know how long I can go without food. I'm good. I'm good. 3 days? That's simple. I do that all the time. 5 days? That's cake work. 10 days? Sure. How long you got? I'm good. I don't even need to put weight on to wait for that. I don't need the extra pounds to do that. That shit's cake. Right? But these people, after a few days, they'd be like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'll do anything. They'll freak out because they have the chemicals running through their system. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you what's going to happen. They have chemicals running through their system because they've been eating shit. They're going to freak out because they don't have no food. They got no money. They don't know what to do. And they're going to go psychopath. And so luckily, this is why they're trying to shut down. Look at this. Why they're trying to shut down the police force. That way they'll militarize the cities. Everybody says, oh, it's because they want to start a world war. No. It's to give them reason to put the militia here in major cities and major places. So that way when people do lose their shit, they'll be able to take those idiots out. So that way they kill all the zombies. And all the non-zombies will be fine. For the next generation. The next generation has to be an uptick. You have to get rid of you have to get rid of the shit part of it's the wheat and chaff kind of thing. It's the whole that's what's occurring. The cream rises to the top. It's just what it is. I didn't make the rules this round, and to be quite honest, going into I don't want to be around half of the people that I'm around. They are at least worthless, if not a burden to society. Do you really think you want to have people fat fucking McDonald's eating pieces of shit around forever? You want to live in that world? I don't. People won't even take an opportunity to learn something and try to advance their life and clean their life. No, they won't do that. Do I want to be surrounded by old people that just bitch about everything and that have nothing to offer? They're not elders, they're just old. No. You know, so some of these people, they were going to die naturally anyways. They were probably going to suffer bad. You know, like especially these, you know, overweight mutants that only eat fucking shitty fast food and do all their shopping exclusively at Walmart. Now, is that their own fault? I don't make the rules here. I didn't come here to judge anybody. It's not going to be of my choosing. The system was already in place. I'm just telling you what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. So a lot of these people will get chipped so they can get turned off. Zilched. Just they militarize the city so they can take out all the leftover zombies. They don't want people driving around because what would happen? Then the streets would look like a mess. Because if everybody's just driving, if they just let the economy keep going, I'm explaining to you what's happening here. To let the economy keep going the way it's going, everybody would be on airplanes, flying all over the world in aluminum boxes, just running around their days like they normally do. They needed a build up of training people. It's a psychological operation, and you know what? The ones that are underneath they need to be. It's called mind control. If you can't control your mind, I'll do it for you. That's what the government's doing. In a bad way, oh, it's terrible. In a good way, it's like, well, I wouldn't trust these people with making decisions. I don't trust most of these people making decisions. So, who would you want making decisions? I don't know. Not most of these people. So they can fall in ranks. They're going to have to. So if everything's going on like it is, you got money in your pocket, you got coins everywhere, you got a lot of copper in coins. Like a lot of coins are made of different types of heavy metals, especially old pennies, which most of the circulation is. They stopped printing a lot of pennies recently like this. So you got old copper pennies. That's gonna draw electricity to it. I mean, some of us can have big pieces of copper because we know what we're doing with it. But the rest of y'all, that'd be bad. That'd be bad to have copper in your pockets, walking around the cities in your aluminum car, and you're gonna get out. Well, at least you were safe in the car because it would have been grounded out. but you'll be on an airplane, and then all these storms hit the plane, knock out the electrical system. Apparently your plane is not going to be flying anymore. So planes are crashing all over the place. Cars everywhere just stop working because there's electrical failure. Especially the push for all these cars to go electric. They ain't going to be working. So what's the smartest move? Put the population under a mass psychological operation that only the people that get it will be outside. That they'll take it upon their own selves to be part of the evolution of man, whatever that is. It seems like our DNA gets upgraded, our brain works better, telekinesis, superpowers, X-Men. Used to be men. X is be prior, X-Men. It's also a T. It's a transmutation of man. Those things will happen. The other ones might transmute into something that is not good, that we need to get rid of. And you'll see people's true forms. That's just what it is. So people's like, oh, these bodies, someone's body is filled with parasite. There's a parasite running that. There's a shapeshifter. Shapeshifters aren't bad. I don't find problems with lizards and chameleons, and I don't have a problem with those things. Why would I? They don't do anything to me. But people that are run by parasitic controls, there's parasites. That's not good for the body. Up to a degree, there's good parasites and bad ones, but most of them are pretty bad. So people that are running around with parasites in their bodies, get rid of those. Those bodies will need to get buried. And the easiest way to do it is keep the streets clean, keep people out of the streets. That way some people just die in their apartments. They come through and just, there's one, clean it up, whatever. But that will happen last. That'll be after they clean it, because no one after, look at it again. There's most people, I don't know how many days it will take. But after the electrical grid goes down, it will only be firewalled in a few places. They won't get moved there quite yet. How many days do most people, can they go without food? Most people I know, they'll start geeking out after missing a meal. Instead of being like, you ever see these chicks, like they get angry, they get hangry? No, because they do have some mental issues because they've put so many chemicals in their body. Now they can't go to the doctors to get their drugs they're used to. Ain't no street dealers selling you crack. You can't get no crack rock. You can't get whatever your fix is. All that shit goes away. It has to. What are they going to do? This like coming down off of heroin. Coming down off of whatever the fuck your substance is. It's difficult. Now they don't. How long are they going to be able to handle not having the chemicals they get from the food that they're used to? 3 days? Tops. 3 days is tops, dude. Do you know why? Because your system is still functioning. Your system is still expecting you to get nutrition from outside sources. After 72 hours, your body changes fuel sources. But at 3 days, if you go, this is, it keeps getting worse, you'd be like, I can't handle 4 days of this. And you'll find whatever you can eat. You'll start eating whatever. People will start eating weird shit. Cockroaches, bugs, fucking, they'll try to eat other people. This is real shit. You think these movies were just made for, no, dude. This is why I try to tell people, if you clean your body out, if you learn how to fast, like this is late in the game for most people, but I would highly suggest you start to get familiar with what it takes to fast. I'm not saying you'll need to if you got enough goodies, canned goods and everything else, and then when the whole thing pops off again, when we finally when the war is over, that will occur between the military and the zombies, there'll be people that will be part of like the good team that will be out there fighting, sure, that are just civilians, right? Still be civilians fighting zombies too. But after that's all done, then we'll just have to repopulate the earth with different magnetism, different energies, and you can just start. You can use all those seeds that you got. Did you buy a seed bank? But it's, I mean, for me, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it because this realm like has just gotten boring. It's got it's kind of, these people out here that are zombies and shit. Like it's such an obvious divide. It's so obvious how dumb people are and how absolutely mean and cruel and useless people are. Sky's 5D. No master above being no slave below. This is a great attitude. Divine Hazel. Yeah, we the people lose to the election. Well, I mean, the selection has been made. Yeah, but here's what I'll say. Again, they could change the selection if they wanted to. It doesn't affect their game. Either way, it happens. There's a problem, but it's could be a good problem. If 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 the Donald wins, there'll be mass chaos on the other side for people's hate for this dude, which is unbelievable. It's absolutely ridiculous. They'll fight. Their hate for him is so strong that they will fight people that even think he's okay. It's insane. It's literally insane. But then the other side is like, if they allowed Biden to win, like everyone that I know that even gives a thought to the thing, like just, I mean, we just look at it from outside a fishbowl. I feel like there's no way you could allow that dude into office, because then, you know, is I think he would be a bigger part of the globalist agenda, because he's bought and paid for. He is absolutely out of his mind. He's already bought and paid his controlled. I don't know. I would hope that if this America thing even wants to function any longer, to some degree, that the Chipboy Trump has to win, but that will cause even more chaos and uprising, like, because people will be so mad that dude won. They'll be pissed. There'll be problems with the election, the whole thing. I don't think the election will take. I think it will probably take place, but I don't think it will be as I don't know. Yeah, Divine, I got you in the mass protest for sure. 5D Wicked. Yeah, and the number of people that have died, or it's so ridiculous. Oh, your boy Van Halen, a immortal soul. Thank you. Van Halen was the death that occurred. Yeah, it's 5D. I don't know if you've ever been to the Instagram channel, um, called called cloaked ships, I think. Check that out. Yeah, I mean, I'm very familiar with the cloaked ships and things like this and things that are going on. Have I seen it all with my own eyes? I've seen some weird shit. The other day, I was filming some weird shit that was going on in New Orleans, and I've seen some crazy things astrally, out of body. So I mean, I could see one of the red overlays. It was a grid system, and I could see, extra suns, extra moons. That was more of a projection to a different time or a different place. Um, but I've seen airships and things, but they were more in physical form for me, in that density. They weren't cloaked to me. Yeah, Divine Hazel, I agree with you on that. The vaxing. Yeah, I think that will affect certain people. Uh, I think more than others. I think some people will be upgraded by it, and some people will be destroyed by it. And so, lyric sense, daylight. I dig the fuck out of him. He's hilarious. Hey, my sky, what's your is that your channel on the on YouTube? Is that what it's is that is it just click on your name, or is it like do you have a different channel name or something, or do you have the Instagram? Yeah, yeah, I think it is more than Blue Beam technology. I think what it is I think they're trying to convince people that it is, so that way at least some people go, oh, that's just that, and they won't even notice it. Other people will buy into the savior bullshit. Um, yeah, the 5D higher amounts of photonic light potential moving closer to the 0 point. Yeah, I mean I think that's the point of when the upgrades happen. I mean, you get things happen faster, so your mind you'll produce things faster. Because if you really understood it, the sun itself isn't necessarily making the light. It's the humans. It's our eyes. We're a photon producing. We're emitting photons too. It happens in both directions, but mostly it's the human. Not all humans, because they're without that soul or spirit. Two different things, but still, soul would say light. David Mannion, what's up? Yeah, and Divine Hazel. Of course, the overreaction has caused, but since since we already know what that means, there is no such thing as a virus. It's not it's not what anybody thinks. You can't isolate it. It never has been. All it is, anybody, all the tests are false and fake, and uh, it's all nonsense. It's all spent. If you take a shit, what you're shitting out your back door has virus in it. It's basically coagulated, fragmented RNA and just shit. It's what it is. Find viruses and shit. You put it in the soil, and the soil cleans it up and causes it to be useful. But in and of itself, it is a it's it's not living. It's a dead thing. Therefore, they can tell you that it exists, but it can't actually infect someone because it's not running on anything. It's not a living system. It's a dead system. So you can study it very easily. You could study what it is, but you couldn't to isolate it as some sort of. This is why they call it what they do. It's one word. It's not even a separate word. The, look into how they spell it. Look into how they spell it. They don't separate the first word from the second. The C and the V, they don't separate. It's for a reason. Um, and they also put a word in front of it. Novel. Novel. It means fake. They tell you it's fake. Gary, I like that. Sanity for the spider is chaos for the fly. I mean, does that anything to do with your boy uh, Pence having a fly on his head? What's up, Sin? Yeah, but Gary, again, during the active war, the theater, the flag bearer, not considered a target, reporter, not considered a target. Yeah, but that still doesn't apply to the fact that the entire thing is a theater, and it's not even, and the whole thing, the world wars, people get, people die. I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting there's not fights and chaos that's ensuing. But all of the things that are pictures you see, it's all staged and retarded. These people were not. These people were just go look up. Go to the website. Our stolen history. Stolen history. Yep. And then look up Civil War photos. Look up World War I, II. The numbers never add up, and it's too obvious when you look at the pictures that it's so fake. Doesn't matter if someone's a target or not. In the chaos of war, a reporter. Why does a reporter need to be there during war? That's completely inane. It's stupid. They're gonna catch something. You don't survive that if it's even occurring, but it's not, because it's all staged. It's so obviously staged. What's up, Ripe Soul? Go back to the beginning, Ripe Soul. Just watch the whole video. Entropy. Yeah, I believe in what Dan Winter calls neg entropy. It's like the system isn't winding down. What's up, Matthew James? What you doing? Lyrics, what do I think will happen in Florida as this all happens? Let me go pour myself a drink and I'll tell you. I think you could probably find what will happen in California and Seattle to be connected to the needle in Seattle. I think there'll be something there. I think that down in Nevada, I'm giving you two sides of that. Okay, so you got the needle up in Seattle, and you got the Hoover Dam. I think those would be two things that something will happen there. And then California, I think you can decode that by the bear. And there's obviously a problem with Russia. And it's always a connection to the bear symbolism. So, to me, that whole coast is probably going to be most mutilated by either EMPs that were military human-made, possibly the cloak ships, or furthermore the plasma, lightning, etc., etc. I think a lot of the, when you say, oh, those are DEWs, well, are we sure anybody was even in those houses? Because I've read plenty of things on all of the other staged events about, like, people weren't even living in those neighborhoods. That could be direct. They could be DWs, but they could be coming from ships, cloak ships. Could be coming from anywhere. But like, you look at Sandy Hook and all this. It's so ridiculous. Look at how many. Look at they destroyed the school. That makes sense. It's so. I mean, all of those events are so absurdly staged. Look at the people in these certain places. Most of them they had their houses loans paid for, and they most likely moved prior to the thing. It's all part of the game. So then it makes people go, oh, they're gonna destroy. Why did they destroy Paradise in Cali? Paradise, a pair of dice, and just the idea of what is paradise, right? So they destroyed Paradise. I mean, it's all clues into it. But again, what state into the Union, not the Union, but state into the United States was Cali? Find me that number, and you can decode that. I would say it's probably the reverse of that number. It was what? It was probably like 37, maybe higher. I would just invert that number. David May, why is so much plasma coming in? Yeah, I think it's just the cosmic cycle to do with energy upgrades, system upgrades. All the systems are upgrading. Got 5G now. We don't have 1G no more. We got 5. That's more energy. Got energy coming to your house. You got energy coming out the wazoo. You got upgrading computer systems. You got a new Apple phone out. You got a new whatever. Everything's trying to energy. It's all energy, right? So the system's changing, upgrading. I think the system is being inverted to a magnetic system. And this is why there'll be people floating. There'll be cars and things that take off out into the atmosphere. I don't know that they'll shut. I don't know if the system goes completely to a magnetic system, because even in a magnetic system, you still need electricity. So you go. It's uh, Magi or L mag systems, electric magnet systems. So I think the system just gets inverted from what you call the L's, the Elohim, to the Magi, the magicians, from the men to the women, from the electrical source to the magnetic source. There'll be less patriarchy, more matriarchy. The Mas, the magnets, the magic. Everything becomes a vortex. Instead of spitting out energy, which is called centripetal force, it's like a pedal opens up. It becomes centrifugal and starts pulling energy in. So it vortexes in like a magnet. That's what's happening. That's what I think changes. And so people that are more closely resembling what would exist in a magic world, mentally, spiritually, and physically, they're more in tune with magnets. I suppose that's what exists in the next realm. I don't think, and so people, because the whole system would be inverted, all of the things that you could probably do in your dreams, I mean, yeah, it's probably going to start to happen in real life. It says turning on different parts of your DNA, turning on different parts of your brain, telekinesis, floating, flying. Why not? If you inverted everything, objects would be lighter. You could probably do everything you could do in a dream. Survive. That's some fresh kidney and heart pies. Yeah, kidneys are supposed to be super healthy. Um, I mean, for me, I mean, I would consume such things. I just, you know, it's few and far between where I want to do anything towards vampiric. Like I'll eat, it doesn't seem to, it doesn't, that won't work in the next realm. I don't think. I think it'll look more like, I mean, getting into that realm. I think there'll be plenty of reasons to still consume living meats from animals. I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's going to like, oh, you can't make it to the gates of heaven with whatever. I don't think any of that occurs. Especially whenever I talk to Christians, I'm like, do you eat meat? Like, yeah. I was like, oh, well, you're not invited to the Christian party then, because weren't they against killing? No, just that's our food. No, it's not what it is. So no, I don't really believe in the ethical, moral conundrum of animals and all, killing animals. You know, it's. I mean, for me, I know what it is for me, but that's not. I can't apply it to somebody else. As long as you don't kill my dog or my animals, then we don't have a problem. Don't fuck with my flock. Uh, what's up, iron worker? Uh, yeah, Gary, that's we'll see. I mean, like I said before, I mean, I hopefully things. Um, I'd like to hold down Fort New Orleans. I just love it here, and I think even after the thing, I think the reset civilization here looks pretty awesome still, but North Carolina ain't so bad. It depends on what happens with the skies and the weather and things like this. If I want to stay, you know. But yeah, I could do the forest dwelling shit. Do some forest dwelling magic work. Jim, are they gonna go hold down the fort in Cali? Yeah, silver is gonna be fine. Gold's gonna be fine. Copper, see, I think copper's only gonna be for certain people to have. I mean, and I have a lot of copper. I have some silver, I have some gold, but not that much. I just think that it won't be useful for most people. Copper will be, they won't know what to do with it. They'll be like, oh, this just has no value. I'm like, no, it just isn't. You just don't know what to do with it. To me, if everything's inverted, copper has during this age been the most important thing that we've have. Everything requires a copper wire to run. Everything. You're not running anything through silver. You know, there's no conductivity there. The amount of conductivity for what you pay for gold, you know, you're not getting as much, and the price is absurd. Although I have read that the reason that mercury was so important, and they were just running high voltage through it, and making gold out of it. They were changing mercury into gold. It wasn't just turning, what do they say, turning your lead into gold. Turning, I think they were turning mercury into gold. Mercury's an interesting substance. Where do you find it? How do you find this stuff? Did they turn all the Mercurians into the golden light beings? I mean, why are all these cities covered in gold? I mean, it was doing something. Back in that age, it was. Now, in this age, people just wear it. Like, no, that has a value in computer systems and things like this. It didn't have a value a long time ago, but why was it everywhere? Because they were running giant computer systems. Okay, I hear you on that. Yeah, the octopus, the greatest shapeshifter. Yeah, they call it the mimic octopus. Go look at the mimic octopus. Cool creature. Unsis, how much to stock up on? Depends on if you want to be a fatty or if you want to. I would say as much as you could. I mean, there's one level of it is like, you don't, if you don't have anything, no one's gonna steal from you. So if it's real crazy, I don't know where you live. Like, if it would ever be like, oh, what do you got in your house? I need shit. You know, if you ain't got nothing, they ain't got nothing to steal. Versus like, I mean, I I don't know. Stockpile as much as you think, man, as much as you can afford to. I don't know. I mean, if you're like, ah, you got it like that, and then maybe I would say probably 3 months worth of food. But then again, that'll change people, because then you got all that food there, you're gonna want to eat more. You don't got a lot of food, you don't want to eat a lot. I mean, that's me. When I have a lot of shit around, I'm like, oh, guess I could eat this. I get bored, I'm like, go eat this. Even for us, you know. If there's food around, I'm like, oh, I'll eat it. If I don't have anything around, I'm like, well, I don't need anything to eat. It's pretty weird. Like, for me, I got, all I really need is liquid, and between some clean water, some piss, some alcohol, I'm good. Divine Hazel, clean yourself up and fucking die. I know, Divine Hazel, that's awesome. 22 days, master number in it. Immoral, Callous Thanos, 2020 exposed all the idiots. That's so yeah. So maybe that was like 2020 is gonna be the greatest year because we're gonna have perfect vision. Yeah, yeah. Now you see. Now you see who the fucking idiots are. You see these idiots that are screaming and yelling, causing the problems. You see these. You see these idiots that are literally the fucking problem. You see these idiots. They're wearing masks. I'm like, if you're wearing a mask on a bike, bye. There's no help. You see somebody running through the park with a mask on. Toodles. See you later. You see somebody in a car with a mask on. Oh, you don't. You are the worst amongst us. I get it if you have a job that you're kind of like, your job requires you to wear it. I get it that you've got a mask on, you pull it down in the car or whatever. But some people I see in the car by themselves, and I can tell they're just driving somewhere. They got a mask on. Okay, bye. Then you got these people that are like out there like screaming and yelling about God knows what. Yeah, there's your 2020 vision. Now you see. Now you see. Yeah, that's very funny, Synchro, and be in order amongst chaos. Yeah, I've used to work in busy ass airport settings where everybody be freaking out about an airplane being late, and everybody that was working there didn't know what to do, and it was like, how do you guys not like realize they're getting onto an aluminum tube with fart cushions from other people, and they think this thing is filled with gasoline and it could crash. I can't tell them there's no gasoline in this fucking thing. I can't tell them it's all run on jet turbine engines where it aren't going to break. This shit is not going to crash. It's all fake news. Like the amount of planes that have ever crashed for real, so small number. So and what am I going to tell? How do you explain to somebody why their plane is late? Well, your plane is in a different city and there's bad weather there. They can't just take off in an electrical storm, so they can't just take off. So your plane is over there right now. Give us another plane. I have somewhere to be. That's not how this works. If you call a taxi, you have to wait for the taxi to get there. Yeah, see, so me, I was like, yeah, how you guys are freaking out over this? I mean, I understood why the common folk were, but I couldn't understand how the people that worked there stressed out. What's up, Moffin? There you go. It's a mental dis-ease. Yeah, a dis-ease. It's not. Yeah, that's the end. The virus is the end of a disease. Gary, the entire existence thing has a death wish. Hated. Also, it's also heated. I mean, heated. I mean, you got Mars is war is raw is there's a couple of things you can play around with war and raw. I did a whole thing on that Aries war Mars. Um, I did a whole paper on that a while back. If anybody wants to go look it up on my zenalchemist.wordpress.com. Lots of writings there if you're ever bored and don't want to listen to me talk and you like to read. I've got writings from 2011 to 2017 on there. Lots of fun ones. Here you go, Ownsmiths. What is the lyric? What is the bear symbology? I mean, like think of Russia, like the bear. Just look up bear symbolism and what state number it is. Copper retains the electricity. There you go. Um, no shit. Moon says that's hilarious. Yeah, I think that there's power to be had in copper, and there's a whole dude this if you guys are not sub to this channel, it's called Enter the Stars. He just did a breakdown of his last one he did. Amazing, and it's about the Trump Towers, copper top batteries, and how that it's a time portal, and the movie 13 Ghosts, and pretty good. Like, all of his work is awesome, and that one especially was really good. Peace out, Calithanos. Ah, lead and copper in bullet form. Interesting, yeah. So I'll kick it with you guys for a few more minutes. I'm gonna try to get a little more sleep because, you know, I can't just go, oh, it's because of, I can't just say it's because I'm hungover, and I can't say it's because I'm depressed, because I've been hungover and depressed most of my life. I can certainly say that it is whatever's occurring in the plasma that keeps me from sleeping. I just don't get to sleep too much anymore. Um, yeah. Fuck. But when I can get sleep, I'll take it. So I'll kick it with you guys a couple more minutes. I think I might be able to get tired enough. A glass of wine. I can go eat. Oh, I got Little Caesars pizza. Because if you guys didn't know, they do a deep dish that is awesome. It's like totally awesome. So I'm gonna heat that up, get it nice and crunchy on the outside. Superb. And a little pizza sauce for the crazy bread. I know, I understand. I get it. That's fucking, it's trash, but hey, when in Caesar's world, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Work out of the consciousness of Jesus and give to Caesar what is Caesar's. And also eat a Little Caesar's pizza. It's so funny that I don't know. It's kind of like, that when I was a kid, Little Caesars, their pizza sucked. Now their deep dish, which is a Detroit style, is awesome. And Domino's used to suck when I was a kid. Terrible. Now they have a pan pizza that's fucking amazing. So between pan and Caesar, I'm happy. You can get a $5 pizza from Little Caesars and a $5.99 pizza from Domino's. It's fucking awesome. I don't eat that. I don't eat that too much. Fast food and like that kind of shit. It just gives me the fucking runs, man. I got the shits. Gotta shit, man. I gotta shit. Just like I'd rather not eat. Feel better when I don't have to take like three dookies in a row. And it's all ugh. Oh shit, Moffin, you 22 October? You're 22 on the 20th of October, so you're still in what does that make you? You're not a cusp yet. You're just before the cusp. The cusp is the 21st through the 23rd, right? So you're not even, you're just before a Scorpio. We're next about the Scorpio, right? Then Sagittarius. Yeah, Scorpio, then Sagittarius. So which one are you? What does that make you? I forget what month this is. You got party mouth. Oh, Gary, reheated. Yeah. The domino area. Yeah, for real. You know what the worst part is I love mushrooms, and I love mushrooms on pizza, but I don't digest them well. I just, whatever reason, I think it's because I'm probably some sort of mushroom god, so I'm not supposed to eat my own. But yeah, reheated pizza and ice cold beer. Yeah, man, I don't always reheat my pizza. I like it like I like most pizza just to be sitting on the counter overnight, so it's just cold. I like cold pizza, cold beer. But like with this, you got to heat it up because you get the extra crunchy crust, which is an important part of Detroit style pizza. Libra. Yes. Oh, dude, I'm about to heat it up right now and eat it in front of your fat ass. Instance. I kind of want to, but I think I'll just wait for breakfast to have it. Breakfast pizza. Mm. I don't know. It's really interesting. Sometimes when I like after I'm done eating something that's like gross, you know, like hamburger, pizza. That's to me that's gross. Afterwards, you know, I'm just like, ugh, why did I eat that? But it's like when I'm first eating it, it's so delicious. But then I get done, I'm like, why didn't I just eat pineapples and strawberries and all this? I actually I prefer that better. I don't know what it is. It's like you're presented with an option of something that you know is going to make you feel like shit afterwards, but there's just something, I don't know, something, it's just a quality to the pizza or the burger or whatever the fuck garbage it is. It's quality about garbage, you know? Some people's, I mean, is it actually easier, instance? It's not easier. You know what I have to go through to make pizza? That's a whole process. You know what I have to do to have a strawberry? Just eat the thing. It's not really easier. It's a little bit cheaper for what you can get for it. Like a pint of strawberries, I could eat the whole pint in a sitting, and that's gonna cost me $6. And I could still want more food. It's like once I eat the strawberries, I want to eat more afterwards. Well, at least with I get a whole pizza for $10, and that's gonna be that'll fill me up. I'll eat that over the course of a day. Could be that. Could be price related, you know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about Nuke's Eatery. Never heard of it. Oh, I hear you on that. Okay, you can DoorDash a pizza, but not that's in that way. Yes, yes. I don't have that problem. I can. What I got different services here, and there's better restaurants. Obviously, where you live, there's shit restaurants. Where I live has amazing food, so I can get anything I want delivered. Smoothies, breakfasts, whatever. I mean, right now it's a little more difficult to get some things because not everything's open. I get barbecue, like fresh foods. I get like Uber Eats. Wait, what's the other service? There's another one called that's here. I get groceries delivered, and it's actually all in all, it makes more sense for me to get groceries delivered because the cost of me, like even if I had a car, it still wouldn't make sense for me to waste an hour shopping, the 10 minutes there and 10 minutes back driving, the gas money, you know, when I can get it delivered. And only some stores do you pay a premium at. Most of the, well, like half of them, you pay exactly what they retail for, and then you pay like a large order fee, and a delivery fee. But you can for like 10 like $15, they give you free delivery on anything over 50, and then all you really got to do is pay like heavy order fees, so which is not that much. I've gotten like enough to fill up a wagon of food. I got like two wagons of food almost from Sam's Club, and I only paid like $9 or $10 for the for the fee. But then I tip, so I'm gonna tip good for whatever they do. So for even that. So I that would take me how long to go shopping for all that? It could take me a couple hours really, and I get delivered to me for $20. Makes more sense. Oh, it's like yeah, it's like fucking same as the guilt after eating pizza. Yeah, it's like this. It's like the shame and guilt you feel after masturbating. You might as well just fucking while you're eating your pizza, crying and using your tears to lube your dick off. Like, ooh, I'm fucking such a loser. Fucking. Oh, I'm stupid. Uh, yeah, man. I mean, yeah. That's the thing, Dave. I mean, you know that. You can't stay on the orange fruit. You get too high vibes, man. You get too high. You get too high up there, and it's too much. You need to still need to ground out every now and then, man. Yeah. The pizza and masturbation. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even jerk off like that anymore. I've pretty much I give up on the woman thing. Give up on the masturbation thing. It's just not worth it. I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't got time for it. Every once in a while. I've always Gary. I've always heard don't golf in the winter. I think it has something to do with it's easy to lose a ball. It's easy to lose your ball in the winter. uh, hmm. Speaking of ordering food, though, I do have to make an order of food tomorrow. I wonder what I'll get. Oh, speaking of also ordering food tomorrow, if anybody was impressed with anything I had to say, if you think it'll help you out, and you do have any leftover uh, crumbs or cash in your cushions of your couch, or in your wallet, or in your PayPal, or your Cash App, feel free to donate some of that to me so I can have food during this apocalyptic event. Which I think there'll be weird shit that's going to take place on the 19th. So like, I would if I were you get some food before the 19th, because food has already gone up wicked in prices, and then there'll be a time where people will be buying out stores, and weirder and weird shit will happen. And I think it will coincide with a little bit after when the election should occur. I think that you should have everything you need for. I think the crazy shit will happen. You know, I said it's the 21st to 25th of December. There's a reason. There's a reason you light candles, because there's gonna be no electricity, so you need candles. Make sure you have candles. Make sure you have all that shit. I'll do a show on what you should have as supplies. And here's the thing is, even if I'm wrong on the date, you'll still need them at some point in time. They'll still get used. It's not like things you're gonna buy that are like worthless or pointless. Like, who doesn't like to burn candles? I burn candles all the time. But it's something like, if you need them, it's like, you know. Oh yeah, so you can donate to me. That's really great if you do, so I can go have some goodies. Yeah, and the cool thing about this whole apocalyptic thing that happens, the money system's done. It doesn't, no one can be like expecting you to pay rent no more. You can live where you live. People that used to run, like maybe the person that owns your house don't own it no more. Banks are gonna be fucking already. Banks are offline. Nothing's gonna matter anymore. You can live where you live. Everyone's squatter rights, yo. Examine to the rescue. Yes, sir. Oh. See, times like this are like, like how much money I've wasted over the years on just ridiculous shit. How much money I've given away. How much money I've spent on alcohol and superfluous foods. Yeah, but at the same time, I wouldn't have had all the cool, wonderful, amazing experiences. So I don't really. It's kind of like, fuck it, fuck it. Yeah, maybe I'll do that show tomorrow. Like, what you should get, what you should stock up on, and what other kind of weird items you need. Earplugs is one of them. I'll just throw that out there real quick. Earplugs. Um, here. You can also do this. Here's a way to prepare. Watch the movies about, like, zombie apocalypse movies. Watch the movies that are about the end of the world, the apocalypse. Watch those types of movies. Uh, Look for the symbolism. Look for what's happening. Uh, um, take some notes. I think you would look at the other end of the world ones where everything turns into like steampunk, because that will happen if the electrical systems go down. What will be running? There was only a few people that knew. Watch the Book of Eli. That's a story of the last apocalypse, or the next one. Everybody just picks up what they can. Everyone's doing steampunk, because you'll still be able to have steam power. In fact, that's a lot of things are running on steam. Last go around. Um, they have things to cover, like so these face coverings is another thing. Getting people to get masks, because you're gonna need it, because it's gonna stink outside, because it's gonna smell like dead bodies and other weird smells that are gonna come into this atmosphere. Uh, Earplugs, because the sound. I don't know if you've ever been on an airplane. The density of this room will change. It's, and then something to cover your eyes up. You don't want to be staring at Medusa. Yeah, there's a lot of little things in here, which you know, earplugs are great for sleeping, anyways. It's gonna be some shit, so sure. You know what? I've always said, as classy as I am, I'm always about some lowbrow shit, and this is gonna be the lowest of lowbrow shit. NASCAR ain't got shit. You know what's funny? Watch the movie Zombieland. Their comedy zombie movie. He drives. I believe that one of them, somebody's driving a NASCAR, and then they're driving a monster truck, which I thought was very interesting. They chose a monster truck and a NASCAR. Yeah. Meds, weed, food, first aid, gold, silver, guns, ammo, books, seeds, clothing, water, salt, and love. These all seem like wonderful ideas, Gary. Yes, I would not disagree with any of them. The gold and silver, I think, are great ideas, but they're almost prohibitively expensive for most people. If you can get it, get it. But I would say that's last in line, because I don't know I don't know really what it's gonna be needed or used for. Although if you did look to who's buying the gold, I think it's a trick, because I think the people that are buying the gold are mostly the rich people, and they're thinking they're going to get off this realm with our gold from our land. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the spaceships and the cloaked ships and the realm won't allow it. They can't just steal our realm's gold to repair their atmosphere. So I don't think that will happen. So that's the only reason I think the price is prohibitively high for gold and silver right now, because it's not really going to have a use, not immediately. Like, you just be able to, you know, there'll be people that understand electronics, that be able to make electronics work, but not to the degree. So yeah, I mean, the gold, silver, everybody's like, buy gold and silver. I'm just like, I think really though, I think if you had to put it in order, you can't eat it. I mean, you can actually eat gold and silver, and it's very healthy. I would take, I would just make sure you have copper, gold, and silver. Copper to put water in, silver to to clean it, and gold because, well, if you boil it, it's Ayurvedic. There's a whole thing you can do there. It's like a medicine water. But yeah, I mean, if you had $100 to spend, if you got $200, most important thing is going to be make sure you can provide yourself with clean water. So understand how to distill water, or get a distiller, because that distiller might not work after the electrical thing, unless you know how to. Solar energy might be different, so a solar charger might not even work. I don't know. I would stick with the clean water, and then foods. You got to, as much as canned foods suck. Canned foods are going to be better than getting frozen foods, even though frozen foods are healthier. If your electricity ain't working, that's going to go real bad in the freezer that ain't working no more. Got to get them canned foods, and then seeds. Um, for the I would again I would plan on what's you know, I don't know most people right now that have any kind of extra currency. Seeds are important, you know, but those seeds aren't going to come for 9 months, and so by that time you'd have already found somebody else that would have seeds, and you know, unless you got a group of people. Then if you got a group of people, you already got this kind of figured out. So you got some land. Where are you gonna plant? You better be able to hold down fort afterwards. But yeah, and, I mean everything on there is correct, man. Books are a good idea. Barter, yeah. And instance, I don't know if it's the damn Anunnaki. I think the Anunnaki are probably on our team, at least most of them. Are you sure? Are you sure that I'm not Anakin? Why do you think his name was Anakin Skywalker? Rearrange the letters in the name Anunnaki. It's Anakin. Anakin Skywalker. Well, they're telling you that those superpowered people are Skywalkers. You can make a, Gary, you can make a dildo radio. Oh, a dio radio. I was like, a dildo radio, cool. Ah, the overfire distiller. Yeah, that's something just to understand how to do. It's pretty easy to distill water. There's not much to it. All you're doing is boiling it, putting a tube over it from one canister to another, and as it condenses up here, it drips into the other one. It's pretty simple to do. It's not. I just watch. You could just watch a couple videos on it if you don't know. Hey, Unston, you said you've been saying this for years. I look like King Akhenaten. I don't know. I don't. Oh, it's funny. Someone was watching a movie with somebody just recently, and they said, "Are you sure you're not a demigod?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Well, I got to be a demigod, though." And they asked me, "Is that why you won't reproduce?" I was like, "I don't know." Yes, yes, Anatakin, Akhenaten is Anunnaki is Anakin. Okay, I'll have one more beverage with you guys, one more, and then I'm gonna see if I can't get some sleep. I'm a fat slob. I ate some pizza. Mm, mm, mm. So I think I'm gonna stock up on. It's probably you know what I would do. I would also stock up on wine, and I mean some people are not into it, but I would stock up on grain alcohol.
than grain alcohol. Not for drinking. I mean, if you're into that, but because you can use it for fuel. Or get the highest proof you can and be the cheapest you can. Because you can even distill that if you wanted to make it cleaner. But high test fucking alcohol. Um, I would probably get some like rice, nuts, obviously seeds, canned goods. Um, yeah. And I would get a variety of dried fruit. I think dried fruit is going to be some of the best meal right there. A lot of reasons for that because dried fruit you're supposed to dried fruit was made actually to put back into water, but it plumps back up. It wasn't just supposed to be eaten dry. It's supposed to be eaten by putting back in water, and then it just plumps up and it's all heavy. It's heavier. Like you're like a pound of dried fruit is this much, but like if you put water in it, that pound is now like 4 pounds. So the price point is actually way cheaper than you think it is. And dried fruit, you're not going to digest properly. I mean, I love it as much as anybody, like a sweet or tart cherry, dried because it's this condensed flavor. But when you take those, put water in it, and you digest it better, and you get all the nutrition out of it because the water is going to actually pull that shit out into your body. Where just a dried cherry really ain't going to do a lot for you. Dildo radio, okay. If you could make a radio out of dildos. Instance, that'd be amazing. You open up the pee hole and you poop in, you just fart into it. There's energy there, yeah. A dildo radio, I love it. I don't know. I would stock up on some crystals maybe if you could. I would do. I would find like I think you'd just be able to find like copper and things after, but maybe some crystals would be cool. Copper and crystals because you probably then make actual items that you could use this create power, some magnets and shit like this. I mean, I guess you'd have to know what you're doing to begin with. I think the having enough of these guys around would be very helpful. A bunch of big ones, a bunch of little ones, but little organite and Faraday cages. Remember, a Faraday cage is the same thing as a piece of organite, just inverted. It's inverted in what it's doing, and the materials are inverted. You can make all sorts of different things just using basically just using inorganic and organic compression together. Just put them together, and you can find something that will gain energy for what's inside of it. Create like bigger, healthier things. Something to protect electronics. Yeah. I wonder how old the building that I'm currently in. I wonder when it was built. I wonder if this was here before the last changing. If they built it later. Can't really tell. A lot of it says that it was here for a while. I get a general sense that it was a. I get a general sense it was a hospital, just the way it's built. But it could have been built as just apartments, I suppose. Oh, thank you, Legs Diamond. for your kind contribution to my snacking events for the apocalypse. I think. Oh, I totally forgot. I still do have a YouTube account where I get that cash money out of there. I've had it for 3 years. My AdSense has made me almost. Well, it's not just the AdSense. It's actually when I had my super chat shit open. Made me a few $100. I haven't accessed it though. Should probably do that. Purchase a bunch of things. What else? What else? What else foods that would be good? Yeah, nuts, seeds, berries, dried fruits. You know what I would get too? I'd get I get these big bottles of the lemon juice stuff, the real lemonade. But it's like actually just lemon juice, and there's two kinds to get. It's just to get those things. I think lemon juice would be very important for a lot of reasons. The same as alcohol, because you could make a battery out of lemon juice, and you could do all sorts of things with it because it's an acid. And obviously, your piss you can turn into ammonia, so you got ammonia and acid to do things with. Both cleansatives, both consumable as well, but more importantly, you can do things farming with them. You can create energy with them. And the salt is important. I would say, and salt is important for farming and for casting spells. You know, you don't really need too much salt to consume, but you know, it depends on where you are in your health journey, I guess. Oop. Live chats. Yeah, I'm thinking what else. Like, what wouldn't you need to get? I would say, it would be anything. I wouldn't tell anybody to get superfluous things, and I think it's just because I'd go off of what kind of finances I have to work with. I wouldn't get anything superfluous, but there are some key items that are pretty cheap that would be helpful. And then food wise, for as stupid as canned food is, it's just the way to go. Dried food, canned food, dry goods, any way to clean water, figure out how to clean water. Just going over these things again. Books, yes. Need reading material if you got no electronics. People start reading again, that'll be weird. Get yourself one of them hand cranked radios. That's the move. Get yourself one of those. Get one of yourself those flashlights that it's charged by shaking it. It's like a shake weight hand light because it's using what the fuck is it's basically using electromagnetic, because it's throwing a tiny little magnet around and creating static. Creating like a static electricity with the copper around it. Like, there's so many ways of making free energy right now. It's so crazy that it's not shared or shown. Steam power, compressed air power. You can use waves in an ocean, a bobber with something on it to create electricity. You can create it with air. I mean, if you have a river near you, holy shit! Imagine what you ever see those things? There's a big thing on the side of a cabin. And you're like, it's a wood cabin with this big thing going through the river, and you're like, what is that doing? Sure that wasn't like isn't sure that wasn't producing electricity inside that little cabin? Trying to think of what else did I mean, whatever
stock up on your essentials. What you like?
Oh yeah, but I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this diet thing here. So I'm gonna get my stock for now, which is gonna be what I'm gonna eat. It'll be yogurts and chocolates and wine and beer and honey. I'll get a honey, lots of honey. Honey is important. Yeah. Yep. Okay, well, if ain't nobody gonna say shit, I'm gonna get the fuck off here. No one's gonna join me. I finish this wine in peace. And as always, thumbs up, help other people find this crazy shit. They still listen to the first part of it, and then they'll see me go into other random shit with you guys. And they don't need to watch the whole thing, but thumbs up are helpful. Dollars and cents are helpful. I'm gonna go try to take this nap at 6:30. You guys enjoy your day or night. And go listen to go listen to that Betty Boop joint that I told you. It's called Up and Down. Betty Boop. It's only like 7 minutes. Betty Boop's Ups and Downs. Fucking blow your mind. Start watching those movies. Those apocalypse movies. Watch those. And go listen to Kid Cudi, Day and Night. Lonely Loner. Frees his mind at night. AA. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm the fuck out of here. Stay cool. Stay loose. Stay breezy. Keep it easy. It's good to see you guys. Toodles. Till next time.